Hey, what's up, guys? Hey, wanted to show you real quick what it looks like to change the coaching aggression. So, if you have been watching the thread, you'll see that the coaching aggression actually helps with the play calling of the computer. It doesn't change whether they run or they pass. It changes the aggression of the play selected. So, if they've got a pass, instead of going for four verticals, anything like that, that just streaks down the field on, third and five, which is usually how it is on default, and a lot of rosters are created that way. This allows it to actually come up with more variety in the play calling. I'm not going to say it removes the screen, that third down screen. I know we all hate it, but it does happen, and it is effective if it's used correctly. So, but that's just a little bit of the nice setup with that. On top of that, on the defensive side of that, you'll see that the best example I can use is that four verts is now defended really well. It's defended well and deep. Also, if you've got the red zone, it's defended well. So those of you guys who feel like you've done really good with the sliders but haven't done coaching sliders, then you're not experiencing the same thing we are. So I'm in my dynasty here with Oregon State that I post on YouTube here, and I'm facing up here week 4 against the Trojans. So what I'm going to do here for USC is I'm going to go in, go to Coach Central here, go to Coach Info, and we're going to go by the head coach. We're going to change the head coach, the offensive coordinator, and the defensive coordinator. All of those have to be changed. Okay, you cannot change one and then not change the others. Alright, so just jump in here, go with head coach first. If you notice everybody selected, I've used the there's a generic editor, Dynasty editor, that lets me control all my opponents. The reason I'm doing that is that way I can reorder the depth chart. That's just for my own sake. Don't pay attention to this, but I can, that's the nice thing about having the editor on Xbox 360. So, but here we're going with Steve Sarkisian. So if you look here, right here, offensive playbook, that's fine. Leave that be. Leave the run offense / pass offense. Leave that alone as well. This is what you want to change. The the aggressive / conservative. Right now it's on 70-30. This means they're going to be super aggressive with their play calling. The interesting part about this entire setup, though, is that if you have it this way, it's always going to be aggressive. No matter if you put it on 55-45 or if you put it on 80-20, okay? Because those aggressive, unrealistic play calls are still going to happen. So let's remember one thing. This doesn't mean that even putting it at 50-50, it does not mean that they're just going to throw down the field or do check down receivers or anything. They're not going to play super conservative, okay? I even noticed when you put it at 40-60, a 20-point gap right there, that also does the same thing. It's very strange. So my finding is that put it at 50-50 or as close as possible. If you're in the event in which it's not, I'll find an example of that here. But if you're, say it's like 51-48. Don't do 51-48, do the opposite, so do 48-51, so it would be more like that, okay? So the closer you can get to 50-50, if you can't get to 50-50, just get it right below it on the left side. Sub-frequency is also important. Max that out. That's really important because you want to get as much players, as fresh as possible, exactly how a coach would do it. Alright, so that's the head coach right there, done. And people have asked if you have to do this with all the teams, throughout the entire time. No, you don't have to go through each and every one of the teams, but teams that you don't play or anything like that. What you have to do though is you have to go through and just go to the team you're playing this week. So I'm going to jump in. Actually, I had to jump out real quick. Sometimes it does it where if I try to select the edit coach, it doesn't let me. It's probably because I've done it a little bit today. So we're going to go back in, show you guys real quick again. So now we're going to do the offensive coordinator. So I'm going to go to Clay Helton there. It's still not letting me. Let's go defensive coordinator. We're going to switch it up a little bit. Usually that'll kick it into gear. So Sam Hodge, Alright, so here, just the same thing. Look how easy this is. You just do this before every game. And you don't need to change it back. It doesn't affect it or anything like that. They still play just fine, simmed or anything like that. So now let's see if there we go. So the C is 85-15. So many default roster creators. There were a couple guys out there that were of the belief, if they were very aggressive with these, with these play calls, is that you would get a great game. The problem with that is most guys that I know play on Heisman or All-American. Very rarely does anybody play varsity anymore. Is that those aggressions? It's translated into the player's reactions and the way the players, react to the ball. They over pursue, they over mark their zone, or it's just something like that. And so this has really balanced it out, to allow legitimate play calling. And you'll notice it right away. If you get into the red zone and see how different the computer plays than before. You'll still get that odd occasion where they'll be really aggressive because they're trying to build into momentum or anything like that. But that's rare, but it happens. Remember, it's college football. This isn't going to make it into very low-scoring games. Actually, it's the complete opposite of that. It takes advantage of player ratings and takes advantage of personnel that's on the field. The impact players, the utility players, all that. It's really nice setup here. If you guys haven't checked it out already, I will have a next video up that will go through step by step, point by point, on everything about the Operation Sports community sliders. I figure it's been more than almost a year that we've been tweaking this, and I personally have dedicated a lot of time to doing this and have enjoyed every minute of it. But now it's time to time to get some actual playing in. I'm actually kind of relieved we don't have NCAA 15. Don't shoot me for saying that, but we've been working on this for a year after all. I'm not gonna just shelf the game, just because a new one's coming out. So I think we're really lucky here, guys. We really got this game playing the way it needs to be played. So if you have any comments, just feel free to reply to this YouTube or reply in Operation Sports. I'll have the link for that as well. Alright, guys, well, any questions, I'll be there to answer, but hopefully this helps you out how to set up those play calling aggressions. Alright, take care, stay tuned.